For many years, Heather Locklear lived in the public imagination as something almost unreal, a symbol of effortless beauty and success who seemed destined for stardom from the very beginning. From glossy magazine covers to unforgettable television roles, her life appeared charmed, glamorous, and untouched by ordinary struggles. Yet behind the carefully curated images and confident on-screen personas was a woman carrying quiet fears, deep sensitivities, and an exhausting need to live up to expectations that never seemed to ease. Heather's story is not simply about fame or public controversy, but about the emotional toll of being constantly watched, judged, and idealized, where personal pain often has nowhere to hide. Her life reminds us that admiration does not shield a person from loneliness, and that even the brightest stars can feel lost in the dark. Roots of discipline and imagination, Heather Dean. Locklear was born on September 25th, 1961, in Los Angeles, California, and raised in the San Fernando Valley in a home shaped by both order and creativity. Her father, a former Marine who later worked in administration, valued discipline, responsibility, and persistence, while her mother, a production executive, brought artistic awareness and creative energy into the household. This balance influenced Heather deeply, teaching her to strive for excellence while remaining thoughtful and grounded. As a child, she was known for being polite, emotionally aware, and close to her family, qualities that would later shape her work ethic and also make her especially sensitive to criticism and emotional distance. Teenage insecurity and quiet strength. Despite her later image as a confident television icon, Heather's teenage years were filled with self-doubt rather than certainty. She often felt overlooked, unsure of her place, and uncomfortable in her own skin, struggling with the feeling that she didn't quite belong. Social rejection and teasing left lasting impressions, but they also quietly strengthened her resilience. School performances became a refuge where she felt seen and valued, and where her natural presence seemed to come alive. On stage, she discovered a version of herself that felt capable and whole, planting the first seeds of a future she had not yet imagined. An unexpected turn at UCLA. Academically inclined and thoughtful, Heather initially envisioned a life outside the entertainment industry, exploring interests in psychology while attending UCLA. Acting was not a childhood plan or lifelong dream, but rather an unexpected opportunity that emerged almost by accident. A modeling job for a campus catalog introduced her to casting calls and auditions, opening doors she hadn't even actively sought. Though modeling itself felt empty to her, it led her toward acting, where she discovered a deeper sense of purpose. What began as a side experience slowly became a turning point, drawing her into a world that was both exhilarating and intimidating. Finding her footing in a demanding industry, Heather's early acting career was marked by pressure rather than ease, especially when she joined the cast of the hit series Dynasty. Surrounded by experienced actors and intense expectations, she initially felt unprepared and anxious, acutely aware that every mistake was visible. Instead of retreating, she committed herself fully, studying her craft, accepting criticism, and working tirelessly to improve. Over time, her confidence grew alongside her skill, and her character became an integral part of the show's success. That early struggle laid the foundation for a career built on perseverance rather than luck alone. Rising to primetime stardom with Dynasty and later T.J. Hooker, Heather quickly became a familiar and admired presence in millions of homes. She portrayed characters who were strong, glamorous, and in control, often embodying an assurance that contrasted with her private vulnerability. Behind the scenes, she was known for her professionalism, discipline, and determination to earn her place. By the late 1980s, she was firmly established as a television star, her career gaining momentum and her image becoming synonymous with primetime success, defining an era with Melrose Place. The 1990s marked a defining chapter in Heather's career with her role as Amanda Woodward on Melrose Place. Initially intended as a short appearance, her performance transformed the series, injecting intensity, authority, and magnetism that captivated audiences worldwide. Amanda was fearless, commanding, and unapologetic, and Heather's portrayal elevated the show into a cultural phenomenon. Award nominations followed, and she became one of the most recognizable television figures of the decade, cementing her status as an icon of that era. Breaking expectations through comedy. Refusing to be confined to dramatic roles, Heather surprised audiences by stepping into comedy with Spin City. Her timing, wit, and natural ease revealed a different side of her talent, earning praise and refreshing her public image. At a time when the show was undergoing change, her presence brought stability and warmth, and she was widely respected by colleagues for her work ethic and kindness. This period reinforced her reputation as a versatile performer, capable of adapting and thriving beyond familiar territory. Longevity through reinvention. As television evolved, Heather continued working steadily, later appearing on Boston Legal in a more understated and mature role. Rather than relying on glamour, she leaned into nuance and emotional depth, reflecting both her personal growth and artistic evolution. Though the spotlight was less intense, her commitment remained strong, demonstrating a quiet resilience and a willingness to redefine success on her own terms. Love, vulnerability, and emotional weight. Heather's personal relationships mirrored the intensity of her professional life, often marked by deep emotional investment and high expectations. Her marriage to musician Ava Sambora initially seemed to offer stability and shared purpose, and together they welcomed their daughter, Ava. For a time, family life brought her a sense of fulfillment she had long desired. Over time, however, conflicting lifestyles, emotional distance, and unspoken struggles took their toll, leading to a painful separation that deeply shook her sense of security. Public pain and private struggles. The end of her marriage unfolded under relentless public scrutiny, compounding the emotional impact and leaving little room for private healing. Feelings of betrayal and loss cut deeply, especially for someone who valued loyalty and connection. As stress accumulated, Heather faced periods of instability that reflected the human cost of years spent under pressure. These struggles were not signs of weakness, but natural responses to unresolved pain, exhaustion, and emotional isolation. Motherhood as a lifeline. Throughout her most difficult moments, Heather's bond with her daughter Ava remained a powerful source of strength. Ava became an anchor, offering compassion, understanding, and unconditional love. Their relationship grew into one defined by mutual support, reminding Heather that her worth extended far beyond public opinion or professional success. Motherhood gave her a renewed sense of purpose and a reason to keep moving forward, even when the path felt uncertain. Choosing compassion over judgment. When Ava later spoke about her mother's struggles, her words reflected empathy rather than blame. She acknowledged the cumulative impact of loss, pressure, and public attention, framing Heather's experiences as human rather than shameful. This perspective encouraged a broader understanding of Heather's journey, shifting the narrative away from scandal and toward compassion, and reminding audiences that healing is rarely simple or linear. Quiet love and personal growth. In later years, Heather gravitated toward calmer, more grounded relationships that emphasized emotional safety over intensity. While not every connection lasted, each offered lessons about balance, boundaries, and self-worth. She began valuing peace and stability more than drama, recognizing that love could exist without chaos and still be meaningful. A legacy beyond headlines. Heather Locklear's legacy cannot be defined solely by her triumphs or her struggles. She helped shape television history, inspired future performers, and embodied an era of pop culture. At the same time, her vulnerability challenged unrealistic expectations placed on public figures, reminding audiences that fame does not eliminate pain. Her story stands as a testament to survival, resilience, and the courage to continue despite setbacks. Life on her own terms today, Heather lives more quietly, prioritizing privacy, balance, and personal well-being over constant visibility. While she occasionally reconnects with fans, she no longer measures her worth by the spotlight. Instead, she focuses on stability, family, and inner peace, embracing a slower, more intentional pace of life shaped by hard-earned wisdom. An ongoing journey, Heather Locklear's story is still unfolding, marked by lessons learned, strength gained, and resilience tested. She has experienced both extraordinary success and profound challenges, emerging not unscathed, but wiser and more self-aware. Her journey invites empathy rather than judgment, urging us to look beyond appearances and recognize the humanity behind the image. Final reflection. In the end, Heather Locklear is not a symbol of perfection or failure, but a woman who lived fully, loved deeply, struggled openly, and continues to seek peace on her own terms. Perhaps her greatest contribution is not just the character she portrayed, but the reminder she offers us all that healing is possible, dignity can be reclaimed, and even after the brightest lights fade, a quieter and more authentic strength can endure.